Okay, here's another stock I'm going to look at. This time I'm going to look at Uber. Everybody's heard of Uber, I think. And what I do a high level overview of these stocks that I add to my watch list, my list of tickers that I potentially trade options on, covered calls and cash secured puts. And Uber is one that I could potentially do that with. And spoiler alert, I've already been trading Uber. But for those of you that are thinking about it, I'll go over some things and see why I think it's a good stock for me to trade options on. And remember, this is not trade alerts. It's just me kind of thinking out loud. In fact, here you can see what this is about. I'm adding stocks to my watch list. Stocks are ETFs. And when I say ETFs, they're single stock ETFs that I'm looking at. So I'm not really reviewing like TQQQ or UPRO. Those are index funds. But I will do the single stock ETFs, like the double leverage, like AMZU, but I won't look at AMZU. I'll look at Amazon and then look at AMZU as far as the option liquidity and see if that would be a good ETF to trade. So when it says ETFs, that's what I'm talking about. So continuing on, it'd be really great if you would subscribe and you can do this other stuff. But down here, this is not financial advice. It's basically just me thinking out loud, talking to myself. And I'm talking as if I'm giving advice to my kids, family, or friends who are asking me about cash secured puts and cover calls and what stocks and what tickers to use. If anybody else watches this and gets something from it, that's nice. But that's how I look at it. Okay, so basically, I do this in 3 steps. I won't spend a lot of time here, but I look at the business stability, revenue, earnings, is it established? And this is important. Would I be okay if I got assigned the shares and owned them, or do I own these shares, or would I be okay with that, or would I lose sleep over that? So that's very important. The second step, I look at the analysts, see what they think. Are they recommending buy and hold? Are they downgrading? Are they collapsing the average price target? Are there any red flags? And then we'll look at Fidelity and see what the open interest is like. Is there volume? Is there nice tight bid and ask prices? And we'll do that by looking at the monthly expirations. So there's no sense of trying to trade options on a stock if there's no options available or nobody else is trading them, because who can you trade with if nobody else is trading with them? So let's jump over to the chart and see what we got going on. Okay, so we have Uber. We have the 6-month chart here. And this is not to determine if we're going to buy or sell Uber today. It's just to decide if it's going to be on my list of potentially selling options on Uber in the future. And you can see the 6-month chart here is kind of going up a little bit, but then it's kind of been going down. So let's look at the 1 year. So overall for 1 year, you can see that it's started out about a year ago, it was in the mid 60s to about 70. Then it slowly climbed up. So this was a pretty good upward trend, a good time to do some cash secured puts, sell a cash secured put on these dips, and then hopefully you ride it out a little bit and you either let it expire worthless, or you sell out, or you close it early, lock in the profit, then you do another cash secured put. And if you did that with all these dips and was patient, you probably did pretty well. And even as it's going down, you could do okay with doing cash secured puts on Uber. I know that because I actually been selling cash secured puts on Uber during this downtrend and did okay without getting assigned and captured a lot of premium. So let's look at the analysis. Okay, we got Uber here. It's currently trading like $82. You can look at the earnings here the last 5 quarters or so. It looks like it has beat the estimate earnings every quarter, and it beat them pretty good this quarter here. And also here, it recently beat the earnings very well. 3rd quarter, fiscal year 25. If you look over here, this is the quarterly earnings. You can see how the revenue has been basically going up, and the earnings was real good in this quarter here. Then it dipped down for some reason for a couple quarters, then it shot back up. So it's going to be interesting to see, are we going to have a earnings quarter like this one over here, or this one over here? And the estimate says 79, so they have the estimate way down here. And those earnings come out in about 2 to 3 weeks or so. So we'll see how that turns out. And did I click on the annual earnings? I don't think I did. So you see the revenue has grown every year, and we had a year here in 2022, which was a bad year for a lot of companies, but every other year it had a profit. Or no, it didn't have a profit this year. It had just a tiny $500 million in losses. But for 23 and 24, it's been making money, and looks like 25 is going to make money. So let's see what the analysts are saying here. So I don't consider myself an expert at all at analyzing stocks. Analyst recommendations, there's a lot of them who are giving this a strong buy. So there's like 55 ratings. There's 10 strong buys, there's 36 buys. There's about 10, I would say 8 to 12 holds. And there's one, I can't tell if that's underperform or sell. Doesn't really matter. But that one there is the most recent one. So it's kind of interesting to see who suddenly lost their interest in it. But one thing I like to look at is the average price target. And it's $110 and it's currently 82. That's telling me that I would feel better knowing that if I was doing like a cash secured put, let's say something like with an 80 strike price and I got assigned, I would feel okay about that, knowing that the experts here are thinking the price target is going to be like 110. And that price target is like 6 months to 12 months away. So if I'm okay at holding those shares for a while, I should do just fine. And then I can write cover calls on those shares on the way up, or I could just do cover calls close to the strike price and have them taken away, then continue writing cash card puts. Either way, I should be okay and not be upset if I got assigned shares and was holding Uber for more than a couple days. And I like to sort this down here by the date of most recent. And here we have overweight, outperform, buy, outperform, buy. Got all kinds of good stuff here. If I look at the next ones, still a lot of green, and do another one, some more green. So I think we're good there. So let's go back to the first one here. In case you don't know, let's look at what some of these mean here. So obviously buy means buy, and outperform means beat the market peers. Overweight is better than the peers. And then positive and hold, and underperform and sell. So that's not all of those, but gives you an idea what these here mean. Now you know. So let's jump over to Fidelity, see how much action we have on the option trading. And I got the option chain open here. And let's just kind of narrow that down for puts here. And we'll just keep it at the monthly options. Although there are weekly options for Uber, and weekly options go all the way out through, looks like, the middle of March. So a lot of choices if you like doing weekly options. I like sticking to monthly options for the most part, unless there's a lot of volume, which there would be for Uber. So I can kind of answer that question without really looking. So the current price is like 82. So if we look at something for 30 days out, 29 days out, February 20th, and if I was going to do something like at the 0.20 delta, which would be down here, that'd be 75 strike price. You see there's a lot of action going here. If you dropped all the way down here to the 70 strike price, there's like 30,000 in the open interest for options or whatever, which is the 0.09 delta. So I kind of that this little delta here has a whole lot of action going on there. So if you don't know what the delta is, it means a few things, but what I'm going to tell you what it kind of means to a lot of people is the percent chance that you're going to get assigned the shares. For example, if I did cash secured put on Uber and pick this one here, 70 strike price, expiration date February 20th, meaning if I do cash secured put and the price of Uber goes to 70 or below, and it's sitting there on February 20th, I agree to buy 100 shares of Uber at $70. And there's about a 9% chance that might happen. Now, that's not the only thing the delta means, but that's one of the things that people use it for. So if you think that chance seems awful low, you can get a little greedier and come down here to the 0.20. So there's a 20% chance, and then do the 75 strike price and then make $1.23 in premium. So that'd be $123 for 100 shares instead of up here being $47 for 100 shares. So it just depends on how much risk you want to put into this. Now, you might think to yourself, like, I would love to have Uber at $75 a share. If somebody asked me today, like, would you buy 100 shares of Uber for $75? And people look at this here, it's $82. You say, well, yeah, because I just turn around and sell it. Well, once you make that up in your mind that it's okay, if the price does go down, you end up buying it for 75. You shouldn't be upset. If you're okay at buying it today for 75 and it does go to 75 and you made $123 in the meantime, then you should be totally fine if it goes to 75 on February 20th and you buy 100 shares. That's how you should look at it. If you're not okay, then don't sell the cash secured put. Did it meet all my check marks? Well, yeah. So I just started doing this, putting check marks, going back and reviewing, see if it kind of met all the requirements, and it pretty much does. I'd be okay owning these shares. So, and I've already been doing cash secured puts on Uber, collecting premium. It's been going good. And if I do get assigned shares at some point, I'm okay with it. I think I have one contract right now, cash secured put out on Uber. I think I got an 80 strike price and it's trading about 82. So it's getting kind of close. So I might end up being the proud owner of 100 shares of Uber, which is fine because I use Uber all the time. And I'm sure the Uber driver would be happy to know that I'm a shareholder next time I have to take an Uber. So it has nothing to do with anything. I just throw that out there. So this is not advice. This is not a recommendation. This is not a trade alert. This is not anything. It's me thinking out loud. And if you like to hear me think out loud, subscribe. And I'll be putting out more of these videos. And until next time, we'll see you later.